Hello YouTube and welcome back to Fire Gaming Project. This is a late night video. It's actually past 1 a.m. in my time, but I wanted to just quickly, talk about, the pre-anniversary live stream that's about to come up in a few hours actually, in China time. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay up for it, but if for those of you who are going to, I applaud you guys for staying up late. On the screen, I'm just going to be doing some artifact running, so don't worry about that. It's just I was told that if there's something happening in the background versus an idle screen, it's probably more interactive and more interesting. So I'm trying out different things to improve my channel. So yeah. Anyway, I'll just get to the point. So I just wanted to throw this video out there because I know there's a lot of negativity and I guess you can even say hate towards MiHoYo and towards the game. And I'm addressing it in a positive light, in meaning that I'm not defending anybody, including MiHoYo or Genshin Impact. I want to just say that let's be positive overall. Of course, not defending MiHoYo, but I think that the community's outrage is definitely justified because compared to other gacha games, which we've all played, probably assuming over the years, they have been more rewarding to their character, to their player base, and to their community, right? And also, the game developers usually are more receptive of criticism from the community and would be more willing to take that into action and make changes, right? So I definitely agree with that, although MiHoYo is slower to implement any change to help the community, but they do make changes and they do make small improvements, quality of life and whatnot, okay? Now, I mean, we all have our gripes, of course, like, for example, like the idea of inflation, basically. It doesn't just happen in the real world. In the game, like the more you level up stuff, the more that you, get new characters and new weapons, you have to still, like, obviously keep up with that and get more and more resources, and we get that. They continue to just give really minimal low inflationary rate resources, and that sucks, obviously, right? But I wanted to focus more on the positives. If you think about it, just as a way to think back a year ago, this game was actually pre-release. People hated it. People didn't know what it was. People thought that this game was basically a copy or a ripoff of Zelda. Okay, whenever they announced it that it was open world, like Zelda Breath of the Wild from Switch, right? Now, of course, we see that there are some elements there. Some people even said that it was copies of Xenoblade, right, for Switch as well, right? Xenoblade 1 and 2, right? So then definitely there are those comparisons, and even the developers even said that they actually took like inspiration from those games. They wanted to create a fantasy RPG open world based off of those games and other classic games or action games that people enjoy and love, and they wanted to, and even the CEO when they were, I guess, crowdfunding or presenting their case for their company when they were a startup company way back when, and there are videos about that online actually. They were explaining that they want to reach out to the otakus of the world. That's actually one of their catch lines, MiHoYo, right? And they want to make sure that that the player base falls in love with their characters that they design, for their personality and their design, etc. And I think that they've really achieved that. Okay, so I want to stay positive here. I'm not just being positive as in like just complimenting MiHoYo, but I want to stay positive overall for everything that technically the game itself has achieved, but also in all of us too, as players and in the community. So I want everyone to think about that. Like take a moment to really think and consider, like, the reason why there's so much hate for this game is because technically there's so much love for this game, if you think about it, right? People love this game. And this game is big, okay? It's the first game to reach $1 billion, I think, right? In the first 5 months of release, okay? They spent over, and I'm not sure of the stats here, but they spent over like 100 million, or I don't know, a couple hundred million, let's say, to develop this game and ongoing to develop this game, okay? And they are using the resources and the investment and the money that they generate to continue to invest back into this game and into other projects. Of course, their other big game is Honkai, and then they're going to probably develop other games as well, etc. Right? So definitely, and they've grown to become a really big player in the mobile and also gacha game space, and also signing the deal with PlayStation is a big achievement if you think about it. For a company that literally, I guess, was seeking investment, in the early days, of course, just like any startup, right? They've accomplished a lot, okay? And they have delivered, right? So like aside from all the hate that the game initially got pre-release, etc., but there was also a lot of hype and expectation, and they delivered from the moment we got the game. And early on in those really old events from like 1.0, etc., there was that Elemental Crucible event. I didn't even play that event because I missed it actually. I didn't have this game at that point, right? Apparently that was a really crappy, shitty event apparently. And since then they have gradually and stepped up the game. They've improved their events and made them more interactive, more interesting. They constantly give surveys to ask the player base for their opinions, and they do make tweaks here and there. And you do see that while some of the events in newer patches are just reiterations of older events that have happened already for those of us who have played this game for a long time, right? But then every time that they have a reiteration of it, aside from it just being a new skin, let's call it, and with some new rules or whatever and new gameplay elements, they also improve them. Okay, so they are learning as well. And also, since the 1.1, I believe, the official Unreconciled Stars event, that one was really bad because I actually, as a new player at the time, I spent all of my saved up fragile resins just to like finish that damn event because I was also low AR rank as well because I was a new player, right? And since then, after that event, I think that was one of the only early events, right? Thereafterward, they removed the requirement to use resin for events, which is definitely a godsend if you think about it, right? So they are learning. There are always gripes, of course, like the fact that there's only 160. They increased 106 to 160 resin a day, whereas it used to be 120. We also did not have condensed resin, and originally we only had 3 when we first started. Now we're at 5. It's not much better, but it's better, right? Like there are all these improvements that they do slowly implement. I mean, there are so many things that I put on my survey every single time that have still not been implemented yet. Okay, come on. I have asked for continuously more map pins, damn it. Like 150 for 3 countries is not enough. I know that they're sticking by the 50 per country, but I mean, come on, Inazuma is quite big, okay? There are 6 freaking islands, and there's so much like stuff that you want to like do, you know? So anyway, that's just my point of view. But anyway, again, back to staying positive. Other positives aside from where they've come and where they've gone, like the music, amazing, right? The animation, the design is amazing, right? Coming from PS4 myself and coming now to PS5, like definitely it's more smooth and more fluid, and it's definitely better. Right, and I like that they continue to promote, for those of you who have seen their music videos, their promotion for their Hoyo Mix, I think that's what they're called, right, team, who makes all the music for the game, right, and they also have their official soundtracks on YouTube and I think on Spotify now too, right, and other various platforms, right, so they've accomplished a lot. That's a lot, because they had to create all the assets for this game, and I remember reading somewhere that they spent a lot of money to hire the London Philharmonic Orchestra, correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm pronouncing that wrong, right, to do the Mondstadt music. Then they hired the Shanghai Philharmonic Orchestra to do the Li Yue music. And then recently they hired the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra, plus certain, I guess you can call them musicians, or special traditional musicians for, of course, the shamisen and the koto instruments, etc., in the performance, right? Combined with, obviously, the Western instruments. So, and then they had, previewed that in the 2.1 preview as well. They had that 10-minute little segment, and then they cut it out as its own separate sliced video for YouTube. And then recently they did an actual, like, another MV video, a music video basically, for one of those songs from the OST as well. I myself enjoy the OST, especially the Inazuma tracks. I do work at home, aside from doing YouTube, etc. I do work at home, and sometimes when I'm doing work at home, I just leave it on like YouTube and let it loop, or whatever platform, right? And just let it loop in the background. It just, it's just amazing. So like, I think it's amazing what they've accomplished, and I'm actually very proud of the company. Again, I'm not defending and just only complimenting them, but in addition, I want to say I'm very proud of the community, because without the community, the game wouldn't be where it is today, right? Everyone is a part of this. And again, I get the whole outrage right now with the minuscule rewards, because I think that that's the point here. The community feels responsible for the growth and expansion of this company and this game and the popularity of this game, right? And making it #1 in 2020 for all the accolades that the game has gotten for Google Play Store, or Android Play Store, whatever it's called, and the iOS Apple Play Store, right? As well as their recent achievements that even Genshin Impact and MiHoYo themselves announced, where they got like, X number, I don't know, it's 100 million subscribers or whatever it was, right? Or something like that, or 10 million or something like that. Like lots of subscribers, lots of views, etc. And they got the gold and the silver awards from YouTube, right? Like that's a major milestone. I mean, for someone like me who's just like a new YouTuber, that's like something that I can't even fathom, okay? So like, and all the other, speaking of the community, there's all these other communities out there. There's Reddit, subreddits, official, unofficial. Of course, the leakers are there. And then there are all these YouTube channels and Twitch channels, right? Devoted to just Genshin, okay? And talking about news, leaks, speculation, theories, teaching new players, mid-level players, late game players, min-maxing. Like there's so many like subgenres and niches. The community has grown and grown and grown and expanded. And I myself am very proud and happy to be part of it. And that's actually part of the reason why I am becoming a YouTuber now, actually, to, not just because I want to jump on the coattails of this game, but also because I want to participate. I'm an active player. I play every day. I'm not as good as like the big guys out there, the whales and etc. But I don't mind, I'm definitely not free to play, but I'm not like a super whale either. But then like I enjoy the game and I stay positive about it. I know that I have my gripes too, okay? But I just want to just throw this out there before the official 1 year anniversary. I know that we're not going to really expect much from this. They even said it's going to be a fan art celebration, which definitely we should never take that away. The fan art is amazing. That in itself is like a big community, right? Throughout, even without any of those contests and those video contests or post contests, etc. that they do, or caption contests, any of those little web things that they do throughout the year, they have, a lot of people just want to draw their own fan fiction and fan versions of their favorite characters. And that is actually, and if you think about it, that's what MiHoYo strided to achieve, which was to create characters that people can resonate with, identify with, love, and to become a part with, right? So I just want to, again, praise the community and praise the company and the game itself for bringing us all together in our own ways, right? And also to, of course, again, there is going to be gripes, right? Like, I mean, for example, I myself have worked in the corporate world before, okay? And in a large organization. And you know what? As great as a large organization is, there's also problems in there too, right? I also have worked in smaller organizations, and there's always pros and cons, right? So, that's just what it is. Not everyone's going to be pleased, and that's okay. But then the point is that I also feel that MiHoYo needs to hear and also needs to respond as well. And I'm pretty sure that they are very appreciative. So I am also hopeful, and this is copium and hopium here, that they will do the right thing and give us more anniversary rewards. Not just announce whether in this fan celebration event, but in later, like actually when their actual anniversary is on September 28th, 2021, right? Or in other outlets, and definitely, hopefully, they can rectify the situation because I'm sure that they are aware of this and possibly even embarrassed. And I'm sure that they do not want to piss off the fans and the community further, right? So I'm with you guys at the same time, but I also want everyone to just take a moment and just really appreciate where we've come, right? From this little so-called little game. Remember where we were where it was being tweaked basically, where we had like what? Less than 2,000 characters to now like we have a total of 41 characters, including Kokomi now, like that I've counted, So I just again want to thank everybody. I mean, I'm just a small fish here, but then like I just want to put that out there and thank you again to one of my viewers. Again, he's been very vocal and very very accommodating to like chat with me basically almost every day, and then like through our chats I get these inspirations for these videos. So I want to give him a shout out. I think his name is Chunchumaru. So yeah, shout out to him, and he gave me this idea for this video. So thank you guys, and I will do actually a follow-up video after the live stream. Now I don't know because my time zone is in the Pacific North America time zone, so again I may not be able to stay awake long enough to watch it live, but I will definitely watch it on replay and then do a review video. Okay, I don't do live reactions, but I do reviews after the fact, and I do talk about some highlights as you've seen in some of my other videos. Again, if you like this kind of content, or if you have any suggestions for me for future content, please let me know. Please feel free to interact with me in the comment section. I definitely respond within the day, or if not, then the day after, depending on time zone. And definitely, I'm open to anything. I want to continue to improve my channel. I want to learn more about like becoming a YouTuber, etc. I also want to make it more interactive, right? So like, I'm taking the feedback. Like I actually met with a friend today, and he told me that yeah, my videos he doesn't play the game, but he said that it's interesting like that I'm doing this, but then at the same time it's kind of boring if I'm just leaving on idle screen. So that's why I'm at least trying to like move around right now on the screen. Of course, this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but at least it's something more interesting maybe than idle screen. So anyway, I hope you guys like this video again, and yeah, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, please review and comment on my videos, and check out my other videos. And thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys after the live stream. Perfect, thank you.